This is Spare Parts, your show for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Stephen Cleary, Sean Cavarella, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Welcome to Spare Parts. I am your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
We are full of energy today, clearly.
Yes.
It's been a long week.
It's been a boring-ass week.
Especially in motorsports. Not much happened.
I mean,
There's
like,
no F1. Sadness.
in the world, it's been a total fucking shit show. In the motorsports world, it has been one of the most boring weeks, right before we're about to go into the most probably intense part of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So really, we should kind of enjoy it while we have it.
Yes. I was going to say, we are
True.
going to be looking back on this week with saying, why didn't we take it even easier somehow?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably true.
So, yeah. What do you guys get up to this week? Did you watch anything? Anything racing related?
NASCAR was about it.
Yeah, even
And even
I watched like 5 minutes of it because it
was delayed, right? So
was delayed. The NHL playoffs were on. There was
That's
just
true.
other things happening. I just decided not to.
Fair enough.
You're officially in the 27 club. Congratulations.
I thought we would actually get through this. God damn it.
Nope.
Yes, 27 club. Let's see if I make it. To the
Oh,
club
stop.
or out of it. We'll find out.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, you're an old man now.
Yes. Taylor, you're next, so,
No, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm good.
I mean, you've been an old lady since you were 20 anyway, so.
It's true. I have been.
Hammer to the
So
under.
really, you guys are just all catching up.
Yeah, like, we haven't had chronic, like, hip issues and, like, wear bifocals.
I should never have told you guys that. I really shouldn't have. Do you know how many regrets I have being honest with you?
Oh, so many, and as you should, but hey.
I have so many regrets. And you know what? To be fair, the ones I'm wearing right now are not bifocals. They're just regular focals.
Oh, can you see us okay?
Yes, I
Is
can.
the
Thank you
screen
very
too
much.
close?
Oh my gosh.
Which
How many
one?
fingers am I holding
I'm
up?
not even going to explain this to you. Okay,
Which
goodbye.
one of us? Okay.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Okay, Steven, that's
Oh,
right.
you know what?
It is.
Right back to you, Steven.
Okay. So yeah, what do you guys want to start with? What do you want to talk about? I'll punt it to Steven. Do you want to do NASCAR because you watched it?
Yeah, you can talk about NASCAR.
Well, and by watched it, I mean I watched part of it. Like it was a tough one because first it was delayed, like we talked about, because of thunder. Then they got through a stage and a half. Then it started raining again, and then they basically just cut it. Said we're gonna go from. They were on NBC this week, right? I think for the first time.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was their first time on
Sure.
NBC this season. They said we're going to go over to a different channel if the race starts again. Okay. So how are we supposed to know if the race is going to start again? Just leave the TV on as long as possible, I guess. So yeah,
Yes.
they did it. Not that I'm overly blaming them because weather really sort of screwed with the schedule, but
I think you started your race earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, never mind. We can go back to blaming them.
We always okay. First off, we always blame NASCAR. Numero uno.
Yeah, usually every problem with NASCAR stems from some kind of systemic failure within the sport itself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was tough to watch. So then I think they started again around 10:30 Eastern. It was not staying up for that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Sean
late
said.
on a Sunday night. Like, who's going to stay up for that, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
Like, if
people
you're-
have to work on Mondays, so like not many. But then again, this is like, how many times have we said that NASCAR shoots themselves in the foot in terms of like being accessible to their own fan base?
That's why a midday race on a Sunday is the best thing they can do, but they want to cater to the West Coast audience that doesn't appreciate them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
if you're Chase
What can
Elliott,
we-
you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, another win for Chase Elliott after, a slow start to the season. Didn't he have a slow start?
A bit of a slow start, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And he's
still,
got 2 wins now, so
yeah.
so still leading the way.
Yeah, still running away with the championship. Not really running away, but still leading. Not like it matters at all. You can't even go into the championship discussion in NASCAR. Like, anyway, Chase Elliott gets his second one of the year.
Second win of the year, and actually it was it really helped out Hendrick because there was one point in the stage one where I can't remember which order it was, but I think it was Alex Bowman had a tire blow, and he was just sort of slowly trundling around the track, and as he made it into the pits, Byron got wrecked by a ghost.
Oh.
Like his car just went up into a wall and said, "No, we're not."
Oh, I think I actually did see that happen. I was watching when that happened.
So 2 Hendrick cars wrecked out in the matter of 2 laps or so.
Awkward.
So what a turnaround to lose half your team and then win. Oh God.
Now, what was the top 5 there, Steven?
Top 5 was Elliott, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, who had an amazing save as well. I don't know if you guys.
I did
know
see that one. Yeah.
Just barely had the tailpipe brush the wall and down to the bottom, and he also had a near miss earlier, actually, where he almost got taken out by someone coming down off the wall as well. Yeah, I'm surprised he was there. Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain was your top 5.
Yeah.
So
bear with me for a moment here, Steven. I'm going to name some guys, and I want you to tell me where they finished. Joey Logano.
9th.
Fuck. Tyler Reddick.
He was there. I've got the thing here. He was 18th.
And where was Bowman?
I don't think he came back out. Yeah, he was 36th.
And I had Blaney. So my best bet of the day did 3rd. Yay.
Yeah, so did mine.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I also had Bubba, and he actually had a decent recovery after his team screwed him over.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if you looked at some of the fallout of that this morning. Oh boy.
Oh, what? Like Twitter going after Bubba Wallace? No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder why.
He's got an
boy.
attitude problem. So do half the drivers. Why do we only point? his
Also,
out?
I just want to put this.
True.
Why is there so much hate for Chase Elliott too? If you see Twitter reaction to Chase Elliott, there's a lot of hate for him.
Mhm.
It's NASCAR Twitter is interesting because I actually don't know if anyone's a fan of anyone.
I
We
feel
just
like that's like par for the course with NASCAR. Like everybody just kind of hates everybody, but like somehow like people are just a fan of NASCAR. Like there's nobody who's like a fan of like one particular driver.
They just hate watch it, hoping a driver gets killed because like they actually hate all of them.
Yes.
So it's like they're just there. That's where they cheer for the wrecks. Like, yes, take them all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like NASCAR Twitter is a cesspool to dive into after a race, but also it's so much fun.
Keyword cesspool.
Sports Twitter in general is fun.
It can be a time.
I mean, like you don't get that for like IndyCar Twitter. Everyone for IndyCar Twitter is just there for a good time.
Yeah.
True.
No one's
Very true.
Yeah, no one's like, I hate that guy. I hate that guy. Yeah, but they're pretty
I feel
nice
like-
off the track. Yeah, they are. Okay, we don't hate them.
But I feel like that's
Argument
the
over.
difference in the fan base, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like it could be a lot to do with like the stereotypical NASCAR fan, which I know they don't exist. Like there's a lot of people who are fans of NASCAR, but I feel like the Twitterverse tends to be filled with people who like to hide behind their computer screens when it comes to like that group of people.
Yeah, if your Twitter, if you're talking about a sport and you're yelling at someone, but your Twitter isn't your actual name or a picture of you, I just discount you. Like I just discredit you immediately.
It's just like a bunch of internet trolls, if that makes sense.
It's just one guy with like 40 accounts.
Yeah.
His name's Vladimir. He's in what's the Metalogorsk? Is that the city in like Siberia or whatever?
Sure.
Yes.
I don't know, it's one of those Russian cities.
I can't tell if you're trying to say Metalursk or Magnitogorsk.
Oh, I think I'm combining the two. Is it Magnitogorsk? Is that the one?
Magnitogorsk, Russia.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's in the middle of fucking nowhere. But yeah, Nashville, thoughts on the track?
I want to hear Taylor's thoughts on the track.
You know she didn't watch it.
I
don't know why you're asking me.
I'm just
Here,
waiting.
hold on. Let me look up a picture.
It's an
Okay,
oval.
what's the track called?
That's what I was sort of waiting for.
Nashville Super Speedway. Anyway, it's a
It's an oval.
1/3 mile oval. You know, they haven't raced there in a while. This is the second year back at Nashville. People are still clamoring for Nashville Fairgrounds, but like track's still decent.
Okay, so since we don't want to get Taylor's opinion, let's go to Jeff Gluck's.
Okay.
71% said good race.
Okay,
at
that's fair.
Nashville.
Okay, fair enough.
Honestly, I would agree. I think it does produce a decent race from the limited stuff I saw. And like the part I saw to the end of the race wasn't the same. So if that changes dramatically, then you know it was pretty decent.
We had 2,407. Oh, wait, hang on. I feel like that's for the year. That's definitely for the year.
What are you reading there?
It said 2,470 passes. I was like, that doesn't seem right. I don't know.
That
Maybe.
doesn't sound right.
No, that is for Nashville.
That's how many passes?
Wow.
Okay.
This one guy had. Passing at Nashville increased by 16.3% with the Gen 6.
You know what? That's I'll consider that a success.
Yep. Increased passing for lead, 3 wide battles. Only a few wrecks.
I mean, I think that's one of the lower wreck races of like the next gen, especially at like a track that people are not too familiar with.
Yep.
So it could be guys getting more of a handle on the car. But yeah, I will have a quick question to you, specifically Steven, because I know Taylor will not know the answer to this, but that's okay. Regarding the NASCAR playoffs, Steven.
Yes.
Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick,
Yep.
Eric Almirola, and
Yep.
Tyler Reddick. Do you think any one of those 4 will get a win?
Tyler Reddick's cursed, so no.
Is Tyler Reddick the one that you keep betting on, Sean?
I didn't
Yes.
last week, and you know, actually, no, I did. I lied.
Yes, you did. You sent me a picture.
I keep trying.
Yep. And you're the reason Tyler Reddick is not in the playoffs right now.
Haha.
Yeah. I don't know. Chris Bell could get a win next week at Road America.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at that.
He's okay on the road course. Harvick
Always could.
could get a win.
Wasn't it just 2 years ago he had like the most dominant season without winning?
Yep.
Yeah. But like we're at a point right now for NASCAR, like you've had 14 different winners this year. And you know, we've talked about it in the past because it's if you win, you're into the playoffs. what happens when you get more winners than playoff spots? We haven't seen that yet. There's not an outside the park chance that we might see that if just 3 of those 4 guys get a win. Not to mention, someone else could squeak a win at some other point there. Because, again, you had Bell and Harvick, other guys. You could see an Austin Dillon maybe coming out of nowhere for a race or something. Bubba Wallace somehow maybe doing well at, like, a super speedway. Because don't they finish at Daytona again?
Believe so.
So...
who else hasn't gotten a win yet that could? Maybe Brad. No, maybe not Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, no, not RFK. They're in the toilet.
Yeah, Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Eric Emerald, Harvick, Bell. There's a winner in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Also, Sean, I think you were thinking about Kevin Harvick's most dominant season, where he had 9 wins in 2020.
9?
9 wins in 2020.
And didn't win the championship. Didn't even make it to the final 4. Ooh, that's
average finish of 7.3.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think he'll get into the playoffs this year. I think he might get a win at some point. Bold call, I know.
Where's he been running this year? Finished 10, finished 10, 30, 7, 6. Finished 2nd at Richmond. 3rd at Charlotte. 4th at Sonoma. 10th this weekend. So.
Yeah, why I'm not betting on Harvick, I do not know.
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I'll bet on him this week. Fine, fuck you.
There you go. What happens?
Watch him not win.
I mean, based on my odds in the past, he won't, but, it's the way it is. Anything else NASCAR to touch on? Have we covered bases?
I think we covered bases, yeah.
Okay, so what else do you want to talk about? Again, there's not a whole lot that happened this week. That's kind of the only race. We're like 15 minutes in.
You know what? I'm going to suggest, why don't we talk about Silverstone and throw out some predictions for this week? Because there could be a lot that happens. Going into it, there is a good story of, is Max Verstappen going to redeem himself this year? Considering that last year was a complete torpedo for him.
I mean, I would say he got torpedoed. So...
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going for. So we can kind of predict whether or not, do we think that Max is going to have another tough year at Silverstone, or do we think that this is the year in which he goes for it and he's going to win it? Or do the Ferraris come back and have a good show?
No, let's keep things in reality here.
What's wrong? Okay. First off, a lot of teams are bringing upgrades, including Ferrari, I believe, this weekend.
Yes, a lot of teams are bringing upgrades.
Oh boy, here we go. Never mind. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
No. Continue.
I just know where Sean's going for the. Oh,
I will let you guys continue, then I'll hop in. No. Keep going.
We're not drumming up.
We're not doing this.
I'm just here drinking my tea. Guys, continue, please. Talk about Ferrari versus Red Bull. Please, continue.
At least it's more realistic than what you're going to go for. But anyway, okay. So Ferrari could have a stronger weekend going in, depending on whether or not the upgrades are actually going to be decent and fix whatever problems that they're having with their power unit. So obviously, as the resident Ferrari fan of the podcast, I'm hoping that this is what's going to happen. But I think my prediction going into the weekend is that we see a really strong show from Red Bull. And I think maybe Perez will have some redemption from Montreal. And I'm guessing that Verstappen's going to win, but I'm hoping that it's going to be a close battle between the two. And it'll be like one of those, depending on who has the better pace. But we'll see. Obviously, my hopes is that Leclerc will win it all. And, both Red Bulls will, I don't know, suffer catastrophic failures, but
I mean, I don't doubt that is a possibility.
Yeah, it just depends on if the issues that we saw in Checo's car 2 weekends ago, like in Montreal, is pointing to a bigger problem.
I mean, is it dumb to bet Mercedes? Because at least we know they
Yes.
can finish a race. And depending on how hard they run this weekend, could you see all
Yeah.
4 of the top 4 just retire? I mean,
It's possible.
Maybe.
not out of the realm of possibility, considering we've seen a Honda and a Ferrari engine fail, I think, every week for like the last 3 races.
True.
So maybe.
Okay, Sean. All right, Sean. Out with it now.
No, I want Steven to do it. Steven, Steven, you go next.
No, spew your propaganda.
Spew your total, like...
I've already put 2 bets on who I think is going to win.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
Such a tinfoil hat theory, like...
It's not raining. Don't put money on Stroll.
I put money on one account on Leclerc and one on Sainz.
Okay, false. I also know you placed another bet. Come on. Be honest with the listeners, Sean. We know. We have photographic proof that you made
I
this
may
bet.
have put a bet of top 6 finish for Aston Martin. Both cars. Maybe.
Both cars. Jesus fuck.
Hey, they're bringing upgrades. We don't know what they can do. Maybe they'll be better.
Oh
Everyone's
my
bringing
gosh.
upgrades.
Every single time. Sean, you do this every time. How many times do we have this debate in the group chats?
If I keep
Every time
yelling,
that
if I keep yelling about it, eventually I'll be right. That's how it works,
Well,
right?
you yell about it at testing. You think, oh my gosh, they're going to be really good this year.
I just want
And
Vettel
then
to win.
you give me hope. I know you want Vettel to win. And then your hopes get crushed after the first week. It happens. It's happened both years. I think you need to give up now.
I did both Aston's point finish was I put $2 in that. Surprisingly, those odds are actually really good. It's like plus 450, so you know.
So my one and only bet going into the weekend is on Stroll.
I do have Leclerc. I do have Leclerc and Sainz to win though, because
Okay,
I actually
good.
believe that the Ferraris are better suited for this track.
Yeah, I could see that. Just the way that Silverstone is set up.
I mean, Ferrari's finally bringing upgrades. They have mountains of data to continue on their car versus Red Bull, who's been kind of chipping away as the year has gone on. So I feel the Ferrari might take a bigger step. We already know the Ferrari is pretty good in like high speed, high downforce corners. Right? Like if you remember back to like beginning of the season, Bahrain, even going through like the sector 2 like S's down into I think like turns 5, 6, 7, that kind of part, they always look solid. And that's also where Leclerc kind of pulled his gap to Verstappen. After Verstappen has charges, Leclerc would pull it away there. So in high speed, high downforce, I think the Ferraris have an advantage over Red Bull. And I think it may just come down to reliability. And I hate to say that Verstappen is due to have a failure.
He is.
But
True, he is.
given everyone else's history of failures, the last 6 races, it's kind of funny. The orange boy, he's not really a golden boy, it's orange.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a single failure
Lately, since his 2 and 3 at the
Yep.
beginning.
Yep, the only races he hasn't won, I think, is ones he hasn't finished. So, yeah, he might be due for another failure.
At which point they yank Checo out of the car on a pit stop and shove Verstappen in.
I think at that point they both get half points. At least that's what the rule is, I think, back in the day. But yeah, I see this as a Ferrari advantage track.
I like
And
it.
If it is, Silverstone also is, I think, a little more of a power track in terms of high downforce, high speed. Yeah, I think reliability will be an issue. Whether it's Honda, whether it's Red Bull. And, like, I'm actually more confident in Mercedes cars finishing this race than any other team.
Okay, true, but like
Mercedes engines have been pretty bulletproof this year, as we've seen.
They're just slow.
they're just not. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
slow though. That's the biggest problem. But they've also had like issues with the car itself. I mean, like the whole porpoising thing, like which may or may not be fixed. But
We'll see what happens there with
We'll
the
see what
upgrades for
happens.
this weekend, and the new technical director for Silverstone, and how teams react to that, right?
mhm.
There's a lot going into this week that I feel like we don't really know, but we know enough that it should be interesting. And
Yeah.
if it rains, Aston Martin won too.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Don't act like you don't want to see it.
I don't want to see, like, at this point I don't want to see it because it would give you too much.
Oh, I would be
Bragging rights.
insufferable.
You would
More.
be.
If-
And that's
Hey, that's uncalled for, Steven.
okay. First off, Sean is lovable in his own way.
Okay, now you're just lying.
He's tolerable at best.
Thank you.
There you go.
In like a lovable way.
So
don't
anyway,
know.
yeah,
Anyway.
Aston Martin won too.
Stop
If
this.
practice one comes around and one of them in the top 3, I'm going to be
No,
texting
Sean,
the fuck out of y'all.
Stop this now. You did this the last time, like 2 weeks ago, and then you got depresso espresso on qualifying. You were like, this is so disappointing. I'm like, why are you
Yeah,
surprised?
because they gave me hope. Because they were fast in practice.
You should have no hope.
You're a
going
Ferrari
in.
fan. You like Ferrari, and you're telling me to have no hope? That's like...
I'm also a Leafs fan, like my dude. Like you just get accustomed to having no hope, and like you have the tiniest shred, but you also have like realistic expectations.
Listen, I'm a fan of the little guys making their way back up. I'm a fan of the rebuilds, okay? So
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Then
wait.
you be a fan of Ferrari because they're on the rebuild.
No, they're just on the Ferrari wagon. I don't know. It's something. It's not normal.
It's a thing. It's a story.
Okay, fine. So if you're gonna give your podium prediction for Silverstone this week, what will you predict?
I'm gonna predict Leclerc 1, Sergio 2, Russell 3.
Okay. Steven?
I will go Leclerc 1, Verstappen 2, Checo 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Sean.
Actually, wait, hang on. How much gravel is there around?
Oh, there was a lot.
Silverstone?
There was a lot of gravel.
So yeah, Sainz will end up in the gravel. He
Yeah.
won't be top 3.
I'll go Leclerc, Hamilton, Vettel.
What?
Of course, Vettel had to be on there.
Gotta get
Which
in
is
there.
fine. I mean, I would love to see Vettel get a podium finish. I would love to see Vettel get a podium finish.
I would too.
I don't necessarily think it's in the realm of like probability, but I'd like to see it. Hold on, I'm gonna place a bet right now.
What else
Podium
do I have?
finish.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Skip
both
F1.
both Aston Martin podiums are plus 150,000.
No.
I have the cat clawing at the door. 1 second.
Podium finish for Sebastian Vettel is plus 66,000. Sorry, 6,600.
No, I think he means both Aston Martins end up on the podium.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
okay.
I may have put a bet on that just in case.
Just in case what?
I get that. I
Every
get
other
that.
car,
I get that
every
one
other
too.
car fails.
Yes. Just in case.
This isn't NASCAR.
Okay, so the chances of all
There isn't
Ferraris,
going to be a big one.
all Ferraris. Well, there was a big one last year. Just was one big one.
Yes, you know what I mean.
Can they sign
There was a
Grosjean real quick?
NASCAR big one.
Can someone sign Grosjean, please?
No.
I mean, on a $1 bet, hypothetically on Vettel, the payout is $500.
What, to win?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Listen.
Honestly, just do it. Just do it.
That's
Well,
why
it's $1. Who cares?
I'm saying this because I already have.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I just placed a $10 bet, or no, a $5 bet for Sebastian to get a podium finish.
I actually don't hate that bet, to be honest.
It's a $600 return. I don't know.
I actually, like, again, their car is pretty fast. They're figuring it out, and they're bringing upgrades this week. I really don't see as, like, Aston could be top of the midfield this week.
Okay, Sean.
No, okay,
top on this bet.
Top of the midfield being, like, fourth best. Like, I don't know, like, depending what McLaren brings, depending what, like, Alpine. AlphaTauri, you kind of know is... They always do this, right? The AlphaTauri always starts off really hot and then slowly kind of trickles down. Yeah. As the other midfield teams develop more and develop faster. So, yeah, I could see this being maybe a step into the summer-ish of really figuring out which team is that midfield team.
Okay.
Because you have, like, what, your Formula A, which is your Ferrari, Red Bull.
Yeah.
B is just Mercedes. C is everyone else except D is Williams.
True. That's fair. Because, like, that midfield is kind of, like, hard to separate this year, especially.
Oh, it is
A lot of the
changing.
teams are so... They're just, like, so close in terms of, like, the performance of the car that it's hard to separate them to even distinguish, like, between them, like, who's better. Like, it's just such a close race in the midfield this year. Like, even when you throw... Because, like, you... Depending on the race, depending on the track, you throw Mercedes into that, right? Like, they're part of that midfield race.
Yeah.
Which is, like, you know, nobody ever thought that they were going to say that for the past 8 years, right? Like, who would have thought that Mercedes would one day be fighting to be the best of the rest?
But I think that's a good thing of the rules, right? Is that Ferrari and Red Bull kind of jumped ahead of everyone else in terms of development, but everyone else is kind of where they want it to be, which is close enough in that midfield where it's just the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the midfield this year has had a wide range of basically performances, whether it's AlphaTauri being the number one team one week, whether it's McLaren, whether it's the Alpines or the Astons. There's way too many teams that start with A. I really get annoyed by that. And even, like, beginning of the season, Alfa Romeos look really good. Mm-hmm. Which also, like, Joe has also had a decent career so far.
Yeah.
His F1 start has been, I think, a lot better than, like, Yuki's was last year.
Yes.
But
yeah. I would say
doesn't get any of the fanfare.
No, I think he's also had, like, a spell of bad luck when it comes to, like, the retirements for his car. Like, there's just nothing that he could do in those situations, and it kind of sucked. But with Yuki, I think the difference was that, like, Tsunoda made a lot of mistakes, which resulted in the retirement of his car because he crashed out so many times.
Kind of like Canada. What?
Anyway. Correct. So I think with Joe, like, it kind of just sucks that he's had so many retirements this year, but, like, it hasn't been any, like, his fault. It's been a lot of mechanical failures, just a lot of stuff that has gone on in the car, like, technically speaking, but it hasn't been him kind of wrecking out and making mistakes, really. Like, he's pretty consistent in terms of his drive, and we know that the talent is there because we've seen decent results in qualifying.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of, like, he's one of those drivers that's kind of like just riding out the wave, but he doesn't get, like, any of this big, like, there's no talks about him really. So he's kind of just flying under the radar a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if going forward we see tighter battles between him and Bottas in terms of who's coming out on top that week with the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see that. I think, as he gets more confident in the car, he'll bring the fight to Bottas more.
I agree.
But yeah, he has been unlucky with retirements. Like, he has 3 in the last 5 races.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think
It's just been carb
couple out of the
troubles.
points.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
One was what, the engine in
I think it was in engine twice.
yeah.
hmm
So it'll come to him, I think.
Yep.
It will.
And he, like,
It will.
even to start the season as a rookie, he scored a point
Yep.
by finishing 10th in Bahrain.
hmm
Was just outside the points. The next 2 races coming in 11th for both. Then had 15th, 2 DNF, 16th, DNF, 8th. That's if you told me that would be my rookie form in a back marker car through the first 9 races, I'd take that.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Fair.
In terms of retirement in F1 this year, 3 drivers have not retired from a race and have been classified for all 3 races. Can you name the 3 drivers?
Wait, what? What was the question?
3 drivers have not had retirement and have been classified in all 3 races.
Ooh.
Can you name the 3 drivers?
It's not the Red Bulls. It's not the Ferraris.
Lando?
Nope.
Ooh.
Lando retired in Miami.
Russell?
Russell is one. You know, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency.
Bottas?
I feel
Nope, Bottas had a retirement. He retired in Saudi Arabia.
his engine went
Oh,
kaput.
okay. Right. Albon?
Nope, not
Didn't he
Albon.
have one?
Albon
Wasn't
retired in Monaco.
Italy, Monaco.
Oh, Ocon?
It's not Ocon. Oh, wait, no, yes, it
Alonso?
is Ocon. No, totally wrong.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It is Ocon, yes.
So, Ocon, Russell.
And one more who is not retired from the race.
Part of me wants to think the only reason he brought this up is because one is an Aston Martin.
I mean, you could go through a technicality that Stroll and Albon are classified, but they did technically retire late in the race. But for guys who have actually not retired at all, there is one more.
If that's a hint, it's not Stroll.
You got his teammate already.
Alonso?
Nope.
No, he retired.
So Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Twice.
So both Mercedes
Oh.
haven't retired, and Ocon hasn't had a retirement.
Bet on both of them
Okay.
to not finish now at this race.
I mean, I think that just shows how bulletproof the Mercedes have been.
Well, and now that you've talked about it, I'm putting a bet that they will not finish this race.
I'll put a bet for George to finish 4th
There you go.
because that's a gimme.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, George podium. It seems to be a decent bet. All he needs is someone else to retire, and he's up there.
Mercedes 0 drivers, 1,200. Okay.
Really? Okay.
You've jinxed it so much. How can you not?
Okay, I'm not just a walking jinx here.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
aren't you?
Anyway, speaking of, well, we kind of talked about AlphaTauris earlier. Gasly got signed.
That's the other bet I just put in.
What, Gasly to...
Okay.
Gasly to not finish.
Ooh, yes, because every time they sign, they don't finish.
Exactly.
That's a
True.
good one.
So,
So-
Pierre, congrats on signing. Sorry you won't finish this race.
Sorry, you're still stuck in the Red Bull family. That dude needs. I'm glad that he's still in F1 because I think he has a lot of talent. It just sucks that there's like nowhere for him to go other than to stay at AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I feel like he is stuck there, but he's not stuck there. I wonder if his new deal has the same clause his current one does, which is you can leave to another team as long as they're ahead in the constructor standings. 'Cause he does have that kind of clause built into his deal. And that was the whole
Yeah.
thing with, like, he was kind of rumored to go to Aston, like, possibly, but they're not doing better.
Yeah.
So he can't
No.
actually get out of his deal to go there. So I think he is kind of just sitting until a team that is rising can pick him up. Whether it's an
Okay.
Alpine, whether it's an Aston.
Whether it's a Mercedes.
Are you saying Hamilton's going to be leaving?
I think Hamilton might have a retirement in his future.
Not gonna lie,
I think
would be the ultimate fuck you if Mercedes took him from Red Bull and then won with him.
yes. So here's the thing. Here's my theory, or what I would love to see. I would love to see Hamilton retire at the end of next year when his contract is done because he only signed for 2 years. I would like to see him retire. And then I would love for Mercedes to sign Gasly because he's only doing 2023, right? Like he's only got a 1-year contract with them. And him pair Russell. I think that would be a fantastic driver combo for that team.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
Because I think they would challenge each other in the right way, but they wouldn't overrun each other either. Like they wouldn't be butting heads all the time in terms of giving it up when they need to. So, 10 out of 10. That's what I would love to see. I think it would be the most logical choice for Mercedes to go with in replacing Hamilton or like filling that seat. And I think Hamilton would just probably end up staying on as like an advisor or something to Mercedes for the rest of time.
No, yeah, I could see that happening. I wouldn't mind seeing Hamilton kind of being more of a advisory role. You know, keep him around the sport, but let him
Make sure
go.
the car doesn't porpoise.
Yeah.
There, done.
Yeah,
Money.
you know, let him kind of go off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say in terms of the other side of that, like, I don't know if he is going to leave soon. You know, if Mercedes can turn it around, if they're looking even remotely close to touching the Red Bull and Ferrari at the end of the year, oh, he is staying for sure.
Yeah. It won't
I
be
just
hard.
don't see it. I don't see it. I understand your argument, but I really don't see Mercedes being able to give the same level of fight that they have in the past.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, like, I think it has everything to do with the rule change, and I think that Mercedes wasn't necessarily on the winning side of it, at least for this year, and I think that there's a lot of work that they have to do in developing their car. But I really just, I feel like at some point Hamilton's going to realize that he's not, like, I really don't see him ever beating Schumacher's record. I think he's just going to have to learn to be happy with tying.
I hope he doesn't beat Schumacher's record.
I hope so.
I like 7 to be that standard.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good number, and I think that I don't think he necessarily deserves 8, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not hopping on the I hate Hamilton train. That's not what this is about. I just
Tradition.
Yeah, we kind of have our tropes, don't we? The Taylor hate Hamilton, the me loving Aston.
Steven being not emotional about anything.
That's why he's the least fun.
Just dead inside.
Okay. Anyway, I just see a retirement in the next year for Hamilton.
Would you bet on it?
I would bet on it. I would put like $50 down that he retires next year.
And that is what we call a gambling addiction, people. So Taylor,
What?
please do not bet on that. I do not believe that is close.
I disagree. What if it does happen and I won like a bunch of money?
No one would take that bet. Well, actually, they would take that bet because they would just happily take your money.
Yep.
Fine. I'll happily take their money when they pay it out.
But for Gasly, if he is still stuck at Red Bull in AlphaTauri for the next few seasons, is that kind of it for him, you think? If he's not with a big team after this contract, is he done?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We keep talking about how there's a bunch of young names in the wings in F2. I mean, Piastri still does not have a seat.
Yet.
Who else? Yet.
We know what's coming.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else? Who else?
If you were to guess where Gasly is driving next outside AlphaTauri, where would you guess?
I already just put my guess.
You say Mercedes, that's fair.
Yeah.
It is tough because I don't see him at Red Bull. Wouldn't be Ferrari.
I might just
Wouldn't be
guess.
Ferrari.
I'm guessing maybe BMW or Cadillac.
Oh, you're thinking.
Okay.
I think maybe by the time everything's kind of moving over into the next few years, you'll see that big rise in sports car racing, specifically with like the LMDH versus hypercars kind of coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Which they actually launched the Porsche one of those this week. I don't know if you guys saw that. That thing looked nice. It's the Penske Porsche.
Yep.
LMDH. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very nice.
Looks very nice, and has a decent team around that one, I think. So I could see him maybe getting poached by a manufacturer to be the flagship driver in one of those teams.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good prediction.
Because again, it might just be the fuck it, I'm not going anywhere in F1. No team wants me. I'm getting old. I'll take a payday and go here.
Yeah.
Goes to it and then says screw it. Goes to Andretti and IndyCar. Andretti finally gets a team. Comes back with Andretti and Herta in F1.
After he has already won Le Mans and the Indy 500, then comes back and becomes the next Triple Crown winner. I am for this.
There we go.
I actually really like
Let's put a bet
this.
on that. That's
Yeah.
a lifetime,
Oh my gosh.
multiple year bet.
It takes
That would-
years.
You know what that would be? That's the Bitcoin equivalent of a bet where you completely forgot you made it, and then you have to sign back into your account years after you stopped using it.
Yeah,
Fuck, what's my password? I want to cash this out.
I have $40 million sitting in this account. What is the password?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I followed your lead, Steven. I bet Gasly is the first retirement.
There you go. I just bet him to retire. I don't guarantee that he'll be the first.
I didn't have that option.
Okay, well.
Yeah. So Gasly signed. I guess we can.
Oh, yeah. There was
What?
one other very important signing in F1. Off track. The US TV deal.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
the
was
massive deal.
Yes.
I would also like to make 15 times the amount of money I do every year. But sadly, only F1 can do that because they went from $5 million a year to $75 million.
That is a huge payday to Liberty.
Yeah.
And
Good job, ESPN. And you know what? It's still only the second most lucrative deal because Sky is still the top deal.
oh, obviously though, right?
Obviously.
But those are your now two biggest markets, right? You have your British fans, American fans. You're set. Big markets. And I wonder if that deal also means they're going to run commercials again to pay for the deal. 'Cause that's a big thing with ESPN is that they've been running it commercial free. And
they have.
it's surprising in terms of motorsports, running it commercial free, how much, I would say, audience retention is through the actual event. There's nothing that pulls you out of an event more than kind of commercial,
Yeah.
like mid-commentary, especially because Sky doesn't have commercials, so
True.
Brundle can be in the middle of being really excited and cut.
Yeah.
Here's your new, GMC terrain, yada yada. Yeah, fuck off. Get back to the race.
No, the race will still be there in a little tiny box.
Hey, that's sometimes, not all the time though.
Yeah.
Depends on also. Don't know how ESPN would do commercials.
We will see.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a lot of money to be dishing out.
Yeah. Very good.
Yep.
Big payday too. Like, what was it 75 a year?
75
Yep.
million a year
For how
A
many
year.
years?
for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's big money.
That's a short deal for that much money.
It is. So
Mhm.
they're hedging it a little bit,
Yeah.
but I think we'll see if we're just riding the latest wave into the next couple of years. They have the third U.S. race, which will probably help a little bit. Having 3 races in the country you just signed the deal means all 3 races will be or should be in the same time or in a time zone where people can watch if they're not attending.
So 75 mil over 3 years. Plus, like, okay. If you were F1 teams, I'm sure part of that money also gets kicked back to you for being in the F1 based on TV
Yes.
rights. So would this TV deal plus a, maybe payment of a certain Andretti team wanting to join the grid?
Well, so that was sort of thrown out there.
I mean, I did say that to us when this came through. I said, does this help make the Andretti deal possible if teams are worried about revenue? Because now they're
Yeah.
going to be getting more from the TV deal. Because, like, if you're adding that, like, the 425 million of just revenue added to Liberty with adding the $200 million bonus or signing fee or whatever the fuck it is for Andretti to come in, plus 225 mil in TV revenue just from the US alone now, that's a decent chunk of change now you could split up amongst some extra teams to maybe
Yep.
make them a little happier. I don't think
Yep.
that could be the sweetener right there. And maybe
Possible.
negotiate with Andretti. Instead of 200, can we do 250? If he's that keen on it, maybe that's the last little
You can
kicker.
get he'll have accounted some wiggle room
Yeah.
for that.
I don't think that Andretti deal is dead. And if anything with that TV deal, I feel like it's more alive.
We can hope.
Well, now you're going to want more Americans in there now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now ESPN may also put weight on them to allow it to happen.
Yep.
True.
Yep. We can hope.
So, yeah. Anyway, moral of the story, everything belongs to the mouse. Because Disney owns ESPN.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh. I got another. Uh-huh.
Fuck you, Mickey.
Hey. We don't tolerate that kind of blasphemy around here.
I'm coming for your kneecaps. Uh-huh.
It's a great image
Okay.
of turning a corner and there's Mickey Mouse with a baseball bat just swinging at your knees.
Where's my money?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
I told you what would happen if you didn't have my money. Uh-huh.
it's not that good,
It's just
Mickey.
getting
impression.
it's
really
just
bad.
getting worse.
Uh,
It's getting more creepy than Mickey,
Yeah, it's... Quit
That's the point.
while you're ahead. Yeah, so anyway, that's a big deal. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. And it's only for 3 years, which to me is the most surprising part. So
It's like a BDE deal.
I think also, was it Amazon or Netflix was interested also in the rights?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah,
I think it was
Netflix
Netflix,
was
right? Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
wanted to basically turn into F1 TV or whatever it is.
Wouldn't be a terrible idea, and I've been saying this forever. Netflix should have gotten to sports a long time ago.
Yeah, you have been saying it for a while.
But here we are.
Yep. And they're losing subscribers, and shocker.
Yeah.
But like that's something MLS recently did too, where they actually went with Apple TV as their sole global TV partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's everything.
150 mil.
Yeah, and as long as you have Apple TV, you get that. So I wonder if this might be one of the last deals. Like, what's the Sky deal run till?
Good question.
Like, is that one... Yes, that one runs till 2024.
Oh, so it's...
So... I wonder if they might, sign on maybe additional year extension to that, go 2025, and maybe F1 will look to kind of do something like that afterwards.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Like, with streaming platforms being a little bit more just more and more popular, especially Apple TV becoming more and more popular and probably like outpacing Netflix. Like, Netflix has its, original series, and I think that's what they capitalize on, but there's a lot of series that are being developed by Apple TV that are getting even more popular, right? Like, look at Ted Lasso. Like, it completely took over like pop culture, so I wouldn't be surprised if more sports leagues were leaning more towards Apple TV. Like, even DAZN is kind of like, it's all pricing too, right? Like,
Yep.
DAZN has the NFL, they also have the EPL. But, you start to look at, like, is the price of the service actually worth it? And I think fans get turned away because of how pricey things are. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of sports start going with, like, Apple TV. It's a big name. It's a big company. They can afford it.
I wonder if you would see maybe in the future again, like, looking at who F1 is dealing with in terms of ESPN in the States, if the end of that contract comes up and Disney Plus becomes your home of F1 globally, that would require a lot of, like, seeing how I feel the market is in America, if it's kind of sustainable over the next few years, if it dips. There's a lot that would have to go into that, obviously. But again,
I mean, Disney Plus would be the perfect platform for them. Honestly, it would. It would. But think about how popular Disney Plus is, though. They have so much content on that platform that if they brought something like F1, it is bound to reach global audiences.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And bigger audiences. It's like people who might not necessarily know that F1 is out there. If Disney Plus started streaming the races, I think they would see a lot more viewership.
Yeah, I understand the idea of Netflix wanting to get it on the American one because they kind of created the buzz for F1.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I think that, yeah, I think they'll have the show. Like, they'll always have the show. I
don't think it's going to last that
the
long.
Rights. No, I think the streaming rights are gonna.
They just had their lowest rated season as well.
Yeah, well, they decided to fuck around and not really do what everyone wanted. So next season will be key to see what they do.
Yeah.
They pulled a Netflix.
Of course they did.
Shot themselves in the foot.
They pulled a Ferrari.
Exactly.
See, they're already getting into the
culture. They pulled a Riverdale.
Oh, that show. Ooh. Do we want to talk about the weirdest contract announcement ever, or save that for next week?
Let's save that for next week.
I was going to say, just do it now.
Okay.
Let's save it for next week.
I think Taylor wants to go to bed.
I want to go eat.
Okay, yeah. Fine. We'll save it for next week. We'll be nice.
Just save it for next week. We'll be good.
Okay, so on that note...
Thank you.
Yeah, we will wrap up, and we'll be back next week to talk Silverstone, I believe. And, after I'm right about my Aston Martins. Mid-Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Road
had to go
America.
there. And Road America. Yeah, so it should be a really good week next week for... and for us, it's a long weekend, so should be great to catch it all.
Woo! Yeah, I'm actually going to the track, so, lots of motorsports this weekend.
Okay, have fun with that one. What are you watching?
It's IMSA this weekend.
Ooh. Then I will also need a full Taylor debrief on her time at the IMSA race. See, you're our official track correspondent.
What?
Yeah, you didn't sign up for it.
That wasn't in the contract.
Yeah, well, you should see Steven's contract. It's way worse. You always gotta check the fine print. Anyway,
it's
get paid in peanuts.
We are off, and we'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spare Parts. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at sparepartspod and the hosts at Stephen Clary, at Sean Cavarella, and at Tate Moore.